So Lisa, you've got quite an array of different plants here. So what do we have?
Yes, so I've brought in a couple of different trees, a couple of different shrubs, and some different perennials as well, just to kind of highlight some of my favorites from down at the lowline.
Okay.
So the first one I would love to talk to you about today is our river birch.
Yes.
This one
It
I
loves
love.
water, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It's not particularly happy with the cutting I made earlier today, but it really does have these beautiful little leaves on there, and it gets this wonderful kind of shreddy bark to it,
Yes.
and it has a wonderful fall color.
Yes.
It really does quite well actually in a range of moist and dry areas, and so it really is kind of hardy of a plant. But the other reason I love it is that it does provide resources to passing insects. It also is sometimes a host plant for your Saturniidae, so your mouthless moths, your Luna moths, your Polyphemus moths, your Cecropias. In fact, I was lucky enough to see a Luna moth this year at the lowline. So really, these do have tremendous wildlife value, and they are beautiful to look at in the landscape.
Checks off 2 boxes.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
pretty tree that works in the landscape. So, well, here's one very few people know about, and it's a
Yes.
favorite of mine, and I'm going to put it upside down.
Absolutely. This is also a favorite of mine as well. This is our hop hornbeam. It is just the coolest plant. I mean, it's got these wonderful little leaves on it. The bark is really shreddy and kind of really texturally interesting to look at. But the favorite part of this whole thing is these wonderful little seed pods.
Yes.
They get its name because they look like little hops, which I think is the coolest thing. But on top of that, they also have these lovely little catkins on the end. So they actually are a wonderful food source for seed-eating songbirds. They're wonderful for insects as well. And really, once their leaves fall in the winter, they have lovely winter interest because these seed pods stick around.
Yes, they do.
And I think, a lot of native plants, we always think that they don't look like anything in the winter, but this is just one of the coolest things to see in the landscape. So I love this one.
I
Yeah.
do too. A soft snow on this plant in the winter is very striking.
Oh yes, it's one of my favorites.
Yes, I do. And as you can see, it has lovely green leaves
Oh
too.
yes, still
Yes.
green right now.
Okay. Now here's one that many people just absolutely love, and it's a Virginia favorite. And I'll just tuck it over there.
Perfect, yes. This is our Sweet Bay Magnolia. I wanted to highlight this one because it does have the potential to stay evergreen. As if it gets a little colder, it can drop its leaves.
Yeah.
But if you were looking for something that might have a little bit more longevity in the winter, this is a wonderful tree for that. And it's got these really kind of cool red seed pods
Yep.
also. I'm all about a seed pod.
Yes.
So really these are great. Again, great food for songbirds, all sorts of
Yes.
things. If it's got a fun seed pod, it's probably feeding something.
Yes. And this one's got a nice glossy leaf, which adds a different texture to the landscape,
Absolutely.
but it does need moisture.
Yes, they are a little bit more
Yes.
persnickety, I think, than some of the other
Yes.
trees that we brought
This
today.
doesn't adapt to dry. That's experience talking. I tried. I like it. So anyway, well, some shrubs that you have to share.
Yeah,
Let's move on
absolutely.
to those. You want to move on to the hollies together?
Sure, let's do that. So I did
I'm
bring
going
in
to put
two.
this one up. Well, no, I guess that's better.
Yeah, I did bring in 2 today. I tried to grab a couple with some berries on it. We have some winterberry here with the red berries, and then inkberry with the smallish blue-gray berries on them. They are in the holly family, so they do need a male plant in order to set fruit.
Yes.
But the inkberry remains evergreen throughout the winter.
Yes.
It's a wonderful food source, again, for fruit-eating mammals, or birds. And then the winterberry, although it's deciduous, these berries are tremendous. And I think
beautiful.
they feed over 40 different species of songbird. So really, if you love birds, especially cedar waxwing, these are the ones you're going to want to have.
Exactly. And from an aesthetic part, these berries stay on through Christmas, so you can cut them and put them in
the
arrangements.
winterberry, if you will.
Without the thorns. Yes.
Yes.
It's a great plant, though, and I really love them. You can get them in different cultivars, different heights to suit your need.
These are, in fact, cultivars because they did come from the lowline. These are a dwarf variety.
Excellent. Excellent. So they stay within the landscape confines.
Yes, so they're a little bit more compact down there.
What else do you have to share?
We have a couple. Oh, I also have, actually, I guess, our arrowwood viburnum. This is a little bit of a different shrub. Again, more moisture loving. Didn't love
being in your car.
being cut this morning and sitting in the car. But I will do my best. It has, again, this really tremendous leaf, and I brought this one in because it does have a very straight growth.
Yes.
And so it kind of serves a different purpose if you're looking to kind of block or provide a barricade through planting, like a
great
hedge
screen.
or
Yeah.
thank you, a screen. But this also has tremendous wildlife value. I mean, it's really one of those that feeds the insects and then feeds the birds that eat the insects and feeds the birds that eat the fruit, and it has a beautiful white flower in the spring and then these tremendous blue purple berries in the fall.
Gorgeous.
And it also gets really lovely yellow fall coloration to it. So though it does drop its leaves, the sticks are nice and straight, and I think the winter interest on this one is really wonderful as
The
well.
reason it's called arrowwood.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Used to make arrows.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have 1 minute left. Who
Okay.
would you like to talk about?
Well, I will go ahead and highlight this one. I think might be a good one, just because we have not really talked about stuff for full sun, really dry space.
Really, yes.
Or I guess I think I've heard recently it does very well in really moist as well. So one or the other, but I would love to know if that's true.
Me too. I've only grown, this is Rattlesnake Master, and I've
Yes.
only grown it in harsh, dry spots.
Dry spots. So yes, correct. We have Rattlesnake Master here. Yuccafolium is the species name, so like yucca.
yucca.
And it is planted in full sun. But really, one of the things that it does well is the flower itself is not particularly bright and showy, but it is a powerhouse for pollinators.
Oh my gracious.
So, and it gets really tall. So I know I'm not very tall, but it is taller than me. And it really is kind of amazing to see the wasps and the bees and all the little things that are kind of flocking to it in the spring
Yes.
and all through the summer. And then it does have this wonderful seed head as well that sticks around throughout the winter.
Great winter interest, and
Yeah.
a great plant that people need to grow more in their gardens.
Oh, I
So,
totally agree.
Lisa, thank you for bringing these in. I appreciate it. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge.
Absolutely.